My best friend got pregnant by my boyfriend. My parents knew about it but kept it a secret, so I got back at everyone. I met my boyfriend and our friend Sarah in college. The three of us became close friends. We hung out a lot during those years. After college, I started dating my boyfriend, and Sarah stayed part of our group. She got along well with my parents. They treated her like a daughter and invited her over often. I didn't think much of it at first. Then Sarah got pregnant, and things started to change. Sarah hadn't been in a relationship for a long time, so her pregnancy caught me off guard. She didn't say much about it, just that it happened. My parents stepped in fast. They supported her as much as her own family did. They'd drive her to appointments and check in on her constantly. I was glad they cared, but it felt over the top. My boyfriend got involved too. He'd ask me to visit Sarah with him, almost every day. It started taking over my life. Her pregnancy became the only thing anyone talked about. Sarah's pregnancy kept going, and it turned my whole world into a circus. My parents were obsessed with helping her. They'd call her every day, asking if she needed anything, food, rides, whatever. My boyfriend was just as bad. He'd insist we go see her all the time, saying she needed support. I'd end up sitting in her apartment, listening to them talk about baby stuff while I scrolled on my phone, feeling out of place. It wasn't just that they cared, it was how much they cared. My parents barely asked about my life anymore. It was all Sarah, all the time. My boyfriend would come home from her place and go on about how she was doing, like I wasn't even there. I started wondering why it was such a big deal to them. Sarah didn't have a boyfriend, and she never mentioned anyone else being involved. I asked her once who the father was, but she just shrugged and changed the subject. That stuck with me. My parents didn't seem curious about it either, they just kept supporting her. My boyfriend didn't ask questions either, which was weird because he's usually nosy about everything. I'd bring it up with him, and he'd say, "She's our friend, we should be there for her," and leave it at that. It didn't add up. The more I thought about it, the stranger it got. My parents and boyfriend were acting like this was their responsibility, not just a friend thing. I'd catch them exchanging looks when Sarah was around, like they knew something I didn't. I tried talking to my mom about it one day. I told her it was weird how much everyone was focused on Sarah. She said it was a happy time and I should be excited for her. Then she slipped up. She said, "Your boyfriend's going to be a father," and stopped herself, covering her mouth. That's when it hit me. After my mom's slip, everything clicked. My boyfriend was the father of Sarah's baby. That's why my parents were so involved. That's why he was over there every day. They'd all been hiding it from me. I stood there in the kitchen, staring at my mom as she tried to backtrack. She said she didn't mean it like that, but it was too late. I knew the truth. My chest felt tight, and I couldn't even yell. I just walked out. I drove straight to my boyfriend's place. He was home, and I didn't waste time. I asked him point blank if he got Sarah pregnant. He didn't deny it. He just looked down and said it was a mistake, that it happened once, and he didn't know how to tell me. I asked how long my parents knew. He said they found out a few months ago when Sarah told them. They'd been keeping it quiet to protect me, he claimed. Protect me? It felt like a punch to the gut. My own family and my boyfriend were in on this, and I was the last to know. I didn't cry or scream, I was too mad for that. I told him we were done and left. Next, I went to my parents' house. My dad was there too, and I laid into them. I asked why they didn't tell me. They said they didn't want me to get hurt and thought it'd blow over. They actually thought I'd never find out. I told them they betrayed me worse than he did. I stormed out and blocked their numbers. I wasn't done yet. I drove to Sarah's place. She opened the door, and I didn't even let her talk. I told her I knew everything, my boyfriend, the baby, my parents covering for them. She didn't try to lie. She said she was sorry, that it wasn't planned, and she didn't know how to tell me. I asked how she could do this to me after years of friendship. She said she didn't mean to hurt me, that it just happened one night when they were hanging out without me. I didn't buy it. You don't accidentally sleep with your best friend's boyfriend. I told her she was as bad as they were, maybe worse, because she pretended to be my friend through it all. She started crying, saying she didn't want to lose me. I didn't care. I told her I was done with her, done with all of them. She tried to say something about the baby needing a family, but I cut her off. That wasn't my problem. I left her standing there and went home. My phone kept buzzing, texts from my boyfriend, my parents, even Sarah. I didn't read them. I blocked everyone. For the first time in months, my life wasn't about her pregnancy. It was about me figuring out how to deal with this mess they'd made. The days after that were a blur. I stayed in my apartment, ignoring the world. My boyfriend stopped trying to reach me after a week. My parents sent a few emails, but I deleted them without opening. Sarah didn't contact me again either. I heard through a mutual friend that my ex and Sarah were still together, figuring things out. It didn't surprise me. I'd already cut them all out of my life, but knowing they were moving on together stung. I kept replaying everything, how they hid it, how I didn't see it sooner. I felt stupid for trusting them. Work became my escape. I threw myself into my job, picking up extra shifts just to stay busy. My coworkers noticed I was off but didn't pry. I didn't tell anyone what happened, not the full story anyway. I just said I'd had a falling out with some people. The less I talked about it, the better. At home, I started cleaning out anything tied to them. Old photos, gifts, random stuff my boyfriend left behind, it all went in the trash. I even blocked mutual friends who might bring them up. I wanted a clean break. Then I heard my ex and Sarah were planning a wedding. A friend I hadn't blocked yet mentioned it casually, not knowing the whole deal. They were getting married before the baby came. It made sense, they'd already built this little family behind my back. I didn't react much when I heard. I just nodded and changed the subject. But inside, it lit something up. They were moving forward like nothing happened, like I didn't matter. That's when I decided I wasn't just going to sit there and take it. I wasn't going to let them walk away clean. My ex, Sarah, and my parents, they'd all played me, and I needed to hit back. I started with my parents. They owned a rental property I'd helped them manage over the years, dealing with tenants, fixing stuff, keeping it running. I had access to all the paperwork. I stopped handling it. I didn't tell them I was out, I just let the calls from tenants pile up. They figured it out when the complaints started rolling in. My dad tried calling, but I'd already blocked him. They had to scramble to find someone else, and I heard it cost them a chunk of cash to sort out. Next was my ex. He'd left some expensive tools at my place from a side gig he did. I knew he needed them for work. I didn't give them back. I sold them online instead, cheap, just to get rid of them fast. A buddy of his texted me about it, saying he was pissed, but I didn't respond. He'd have to buy new ones, and I knew his budget was tight with a kid on the way. It wasn't much, but it felt good knowing he'd feel it. Sarah was trickier. She didn't have anything I could touch directly, but I remembered she'd always cared about her reputation. I didn't spread rumors or anything, I'm not that petty. Instead, I unblocked a few mutual friends and let slip what she'd done. Word got around. People started distancing themselves from her. I heard she was upset about losing friends, especially since she was leaning on them for support. It wasn't revenge, but it was enough to know she wasn't getting off easy. A few months later, I got an invite to my ex and Sarah's wedding. It came in the mail, a plain white envelope with my name on it. I didn't open it at first, just stared at it on my counter for a day. When I finally did, it was a basic card, saying they were tying the knot and wanted me there. No personal note, no apology, just the date and place. I couldn't believe they had the nerve. After everything, my boyfriend cheating, Sarah betraying me, my parents lying, they thought I'd show up and clap for them? I threw it in the trash. I heard later they'd asked about me through a friend. They wanted to know if I'd RSVP'd. I hadn't, and I wasn't going to. The wedding was small, just family and a few people from our old college group. My parents were there, of course, they'd picked their side. I didn't care. The day it happened, I stayed home. I didn't check social media or ask anyone about it. I ordered takeout and watched some random show, keeping my mind off it. A friend texted me after, saying it went fine, but Sarah looked stressed. Apparently, she'd hoped I'd come, like it'd fix something. It didn't matter to me. My parents tried reaching out again after that. My mom left a voicemail saying they missed me and wanted to talk. I deleted it. My ex and Sarah were married now, and the baby was due soon. They'd built their life, and I wasn't part of it. I'd already started moving on, new routines, new people. I wasn't going to let their day pull me back in. It's been almost a year since all this went down. My ex and Sarah had their kid, a girl, I heard through someone who still talks to them. They're a family now, living somewhere a few hours away. My parents still try to contact me sometimes. They send texts or emails every couple of months, saying they're sorry and want to fix things. I don't respond. I don't hate them anymore, but I don't trust them either. They chose Sarah and my ex over me, and that's not something I can forget. I've kept them blocked on everything that matters. I'm doing okay though. Work steady, and I've got a small circle of friends who don't know the whole story, just enough to get why I don't talk about my family much. I moved to a new apartment a while back, somewhere none of them have been. It's mine, no traces of the past. I don't check up on my ex or Sarah. I don't care what they're up to. The stuff I did, selling his tools, letting Sarah's rep take a hit, ditching my parents' rental gig, it wasn't about ruining them. It was about me taking back some control after they flipped my life upside down. Sometimes I think about college, how the three of us started out. It's weird how fast it all fell apart. But I don't dwell on it. I've got my own thing going now, and it's better without them. They can have their family, their secrets, their guilt. I'm done carrying it. Life's quieter this way, and I'm good with that.